The umbrellas. Okay. Hi. I decided to record this on Zoom because for some reason, emailing the video to myself and doing all this extra stuff wasn't helping. So here we are. I hope you guys like my Chicago background. It's literally the only background that I genuinely love using on Zoom. Anyways, why public health? So I chose public health because there's a lot of reasons. But I guess the main one was that I wanted to help in a different way. Let me explain. So at first I was a biology major. I wanted to be a gynecologist. I wanted to work with children who were born with different health deformities and such, right? But I realized, especially during the pandemic, one, the biology courses and like my passion, it just wasn't connecting. I wasn't really into it. And then secondly, I had traveled back to Nigeria, which is where my parents were born and raised, for my grandmother's funeral. Rest in peace, Grandma Jenny. And that's when I really saw that like health disparities, and mind you, I'd been back to Nigeria before, but this time, especially with the pandemic, health disparities were like a really huge thing that impacted me in a way that I hadn't before. Just even the fact that the COVID test cost up to 200 USD, like United States dollars per person. Literally the five of us, my sister, my brother, myself, my mom, my dad, had to get tested coming into the country and leaving. And anyone else who was just like regularly residing there, had the pandemic spread as much as it had, like no one has that kind of money. I don't even have $200. Like, thank goodness for my dad who, you know, had some money, but like, and the conversion rate in Nigeria is 240 Naira. That's Nigerian currency. And I'm kind of getting off topic, but 240 Naira, I guess that was at the time, it's probably like 300 now due to inflation, but 240 Naira is equal to 1 USD. So imagine trying to get up to 200 United States dollars just to take a COVID test to see if you should, quarantine and like, you know, just basically not be sick. Like it's another day in Nigeria for anybody. So I think that really impacted me. So once I came back and having had a minor in public health, I realized that I could help in a different way. I can still be helping to manage healthcare and making sure that different people got the resources and help that they needed while not having to suffer through med school. And I'm not saying that like everyone who goes through med school suffers. It just wasn't for me. And I really felt that, especially once I realized I could switch major to public health and be a greater influence. Sorry, okay. Anyways, public health issues that I'm concerned with. Right now, my main one, especially after switching my major, my main public health concern is the lack of adequate sexual education that's taught in schools. I feel like it should be comprehensive, it should be inclusive. Anyone who identifies as, whether it's LGBTQIA or plus, any gender, should be able to learn what sex means to them. And I don't feel like it should be a taboo topic, because the more of a taboo topic it is, the less people talk about it and the less like information people get, and the worse things get as far as STDs, STIs, teen pregnancies, and just like horrific sexual encounters. So I'm really into that right now. And then another one was neurological disorders in foreign countries. Just a little bit of background. My mom had a twin sister. They were born at separate times because like the doctor wasn't able to, I guess, just know that there was another baby in a separate womb. So my mom's twin ended up staying in for, I guess, was like, I don't know how many extra hours than necessary. So she lost a lot of oxygen. And when she came out, she only like neurologically developed to that of like a 3-year-old. So flash forward, my mom is like middle-aged. So her twin is like this middle-aged woman who's has the brain of like a 2-year-old who's not able to take care of herself. So put a lot of strain on my family back in Nigeria until she eventually passed away. Rest in peace, Aunt Martha. She passed away in 2019. And I feel like each of these little instances helped me realize what I really wanted to do as far as public health is concerned. And then I don't know how much time left, but how might an effective health communication message impact this or these issues? I think an effective communication message could impact, I want schools or the people who are running school legislation to be challenged. I want it to be where it's not like, oh, if you're teaching sexual education, then you have to include this, this, and this. No, I want it to be where each school has to teach sexual education because it's a normal part of our lives. Even if you are asexual, there's still parts of your body that you need to know about and not shy away from. Obviously, we can regulate like the ages and what specifically is said and how much training the teacher should get. But I feel like it's mandatory that a health communication message such as like a commercial that appeals to a school principal, or a commercial that like appeals to teenagers in schools to get them riled up and start asking like, hey, why don't I know about such and such and such, and that this toy can cause this issue between my body and the next person? I feel like that needs to be said. And then lastly, how might it be impacted by Healthy People 2030? Healthy People 2030, it sets a data-driven like national objective to improve health. And I feel like they specifically can reach out to school legislation, to our representatives, and talk about why sexual education isn't spoken about in a lot of schools. It's a necessary issue. You know how many kids who are living out on the street and can go to school, but don't realize that the information they're missing out on and that they're now using on the street can harm them. I just feel like sex is such a common thing, and that people take it for granted or take it as something that just should severely not be spoken about, to the point where it's like detrimental to us, to our next generation. It's a part of our lives. And if we're learning about the other things that make us healthy or make us unhealthy, sex should be included in that. Other than that, thanks for coming to my TED Talk, why I chose public health. And hopefully I didn't overshare way too much. Hopefully this video isn't too long, but if it is, I guess I'll just cut it. And yeah, hopefully I get an A on this assignment. If you guys have any questions, leave it down below in the comment box, AKA the Blackboard discussion video. And I'll talk to you guys in class.